Alexander, good morning. What is the latest in a very tough situation there at the moment?
Yeah, good morning, Steph. We actually have heard a bit of new information in the last hour. The State Control Centre has said there's been a reduction in fire activity overnight due to the wind change, and now there are only 2 emergency warning areas, which there was a peak of 8 last night. So the fire has now burnt 74,000 hectares. It was only 6,000 hectares a week ago. And just to put that figure in context, 74,000 hectares is the size of the nation of Singapore, and it's about half the size of the entire Grampians National Park. There are more than 600 people working on this fire. That number fluctuates, but again, they've had to kind of call in a small city of volunteers from across Victoria to be able to fight this. We've also heard that there are going to be some task forces from interstate fire brigades coming in today to focus on the containment work, which is what the firefighters will be doing today, taking advantage of the cooler conditions. I'm here at the moment in the Ararat Relief Centre, which is sort of at the northeastern edge of the Grampians. Dozens of people spent here tonight converting change rooms into bedrooms, basically, bringing with the mattresses and pillows. There's something like 26 people here. I was speaking to a couple of residents from the town of Wallora in the southern Grampians. They all left with their animals at about 2 p.m. yesterday as the wind started blowing from the west. And I also spoke to a resident of Moyston earlier today, and he told me a bit more about when he made the decision to evacuate.
Oh, when the wind started blowing back towards the house, that's when I made the decision, because that's when all the flames are going to start coming back that way, because it changed direction. Before that, it was blowing the opposite way back over the hills, and I wasn't too worried then because all the sky was clear. But as soon as the smoke started getting real thick and that, got out of there.
And there have been a couple of other fires burning, not just in the Grampians, but further east in Victoria, Steph. There's some good news in relation to those. There's been no significant change to the Balengarook fire, northwest of Melbourne. That was at a watch and act yesterday, but it's just at advice level, and crews are working to contain that. And another fire, which started last week at the Gerties near Phillip Island, is also under control. So a lot is happening, but there's some good news as well as some concerning news here.
Alex, thank you very much for that update from Ararat.
Let's go live to our reporter in Victoria, Alexander Darling. Alexander, what's the latest there?
Yeah, a bit has happened in the last hour, Gemma. So the incident controller, Mark Gunning, was on local radio in the past half hour, and he confirmed that they're still working on control lines today with the cooler weather, the firefighters in the Grampians this is, because there are areas of the fire in Halls Gap and other northern parts of the Grampians still burning freely as we speak. They're currently blacking out fence posts and trees. Mr Gunning also paid tribute to people who took the advice of emergency services in the past week, deciding to leave early, or who prepared themselves to defend their houses. And basically today and the next few days they'll be working on containment lines in anticipation of more hot weather next week. So that's the next spike day. They're trying to make sure the eastern side of the fire is as contained as possible. The eastern side being where the towns with the emergency warnings out on them currently are. The advice for people today is that they need to watch for changes in messaging because there's the chance that some communities might actually be able to go back in to their properties and collect things like belongings or their caravans. We don't have exact word on where those places are yet. That's just something that the CFA has foreshadowed. You mentioned before that there were no property losses reported by the CFA. Anecdotally, in the Victorian Reporter Network, we've heard that there might have been 1 or 2 homes lost around the Lake Bolac area, which is at the southeastern edge of the Grampians region. But again, that hasn't been confirmed yet. So information is still gradually coming through. We've also heard from Blaze Aid, which is a charity that helps farmers get back on their feet. At least 10 kilometres of fencing has gone down in these fires. There's also been minimal stock losses, but a few sheds have been lost as well. So that's kind of the sum total of all the new information that we've received in the past hour, Gemma.
And you've been speaking to locals there. What's been the reaction?
Yeah, there's a muted sense of optimism here at the Ararat Emergency Relief Centre where I am at the moment. 26 locals spent the evening sheltering here from places like Moyston and Pomonal and Wallora, where those evacuate messages are. They've had things like groceries bought for them. We've got a Salvation Army truck here about to serve them lunch, so there is support, but really the crunch time for the people in these areas came yesterday afternoon when the wind changed. I was speaking to a resident of Moyston, Rod Howard, and he told me about the moments leading up to when he decided to leave.
Oh, when the wind started blowing back towards the house, that's when I made the decision, because that's when all the flames are going to start coming back that way, because it changed direction. Before that, it was blowing the opposite way back over the hills, and I wasn't too worried then because all the sky was clear. But as soon as the smoke started getting real thick and that, got out of there.
So we also have relief centres in the towns of Stawell and Hamilton, which dot the perimeter of the Grampians. As I mentioned before, some people could be allowed back to their properties today, but underlying all of this is the fact that we've known for at least a week now, Gemma, which is this fire is going to continue burning all the way through January. It's currently burned through 74,000 hectares, an area the size of Singapore, and even with the work that crews are doing to try and contain it today, given how large it is, they're going to need quite a few weeks to put this out.
Alexander Darling there in Ararat, Victoria. Thank you.